Hi, and welcome to episode 36 of the Yoshi and Lucy Knits podcast. My name is Denise, and you can find me in various places. On Instagram, I'm Yoshi and Lucy Knits, and I have a Etsy store where I sell hand-dyed yarn at Yoshi and Lucy. Um, so it's been 2 weeks since I last recorded. It feels kind of weird trying to get back into the schedule of recording every 2 weeks after not recording for like over a month. um, so today it's a very hot day, so I had to have the AC on. So hopefully it's not too loud, and I'll try to um, minimize the sound in when I'm editing if I can figure out how to do that. Um, so this week I have a few FOs and some whips, old and new. Not really that many acquisitions, but I have been doing some yarn dyeing experiments. Um, so I'll show you guys that, and then some shop update news at the end. So my first FO is my Fairy Hill shawl by Helen Stewart. I had almost finished it in my last episode. I just had a few rows um, to knit. So this is part of her Shawl Society 2, which is a pattern collection that is an exclusive um, pattern. I think for 6 months or so, that you can only buy the patterns in if you purchase a collection. Um, so so I finished it finally. I took me about a month to knit this. So I used my hand dyed yarn in Under the Sea, which is the blue speckles, and the blue is Still Waters. So I said before that when I was knitting this, I made some mistakes on here um, in the final lace section, and I can. It's more noticeable now that it's been blocked out. um, Honestly, I just didn't want to go back and fix it. Um, so yeah, I this shawl comes in two sizes, small and medium, and I knit the medium. Honestly, I think the small would have been too small for me. Like, this is what I would consider kind of a smallish shawl. So yeah, I knit this using my Briante base, which is a silver Selena, because I've been meaning to knit up a sample with with this yarn. So I don't know why I feel so awkward, but I do today. um, so yeah, I'm gonna knit. I don't know if I'm gonna knit every one of her shawls from that collection, but I do want to cast on her newest one. I forgot the name. I'm just trying to select my yarn and figure out what yarn I'm gonna use. Um, so my second FO is actually one that you guys haven't seen, and so I cast on a pair of socks and I finished them like within 2 weeks. So here are my Yorkville Socks by Mina Phillip. I'll just show one. Um, so June I had like no sock knitting mojo. I just didn't feel like knitting on socks, and then Mina came out with um, her new sock pattern from her New York Sock Club collection, and I took a look at it. It was pretty simple, straightforward pattern. It's very easy to memorize, and that's really what I like with socks. Something I don't have to think about too much. And it was a good knit to have when I'm dyeing yarn, in between when I'm waiting for colors to set or for the water to heat up. I have a little breaks here and there, um, and I knit them mostly at that. I'm just looking. I think I think I actually stained the sock. It looks like it's a little bit green. I must have had dye on my fingers. So this yarn I'm using is Destination Yarns in her Winterfell colorway. So this is part of her Game of Thrones inspired collection. And I purchased this yarn from her in person last year when I went to Cleveland, Ohio. I got in touch with her and we met up one day, and I purchased some of her yarn. So I did a German short row heel, the standard that Mina has in her pattern, but instead of just, I did a garter stitch version of it. So what that means is that instead of doing the purling, you just knit. So that's what you end up having garter stitch, and I think it's just an interesting contrast to have in the sock. Let me see the fiber content of this yarn, so I have something to say about it. So this is 80/20 superwash merino wool. So here's our tag, Destination Yarn, Winterfell. So I noticed when I was knitting this that that the cuff was already kind of wide, and I tried it on before I blocked it, and it looked like it was, it doesn't have that much negative ease as what I'm used to, and I'm thinking, could it have been the blend? It was an 80/20 and it's a 2-ply yarn, or could my gauge just be getting loose? I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out what could it have been. So I'm like kind of worried that these socks are gonna be baggy after a while. So I think my next pair I'm gonna cast on fewer stitches. So since I've been knitting socks, I've been knitting 64 stitches on a US 1 for myself, and so I think I'm gonna start experimenting. On my next pair, I'm gonna knit, what's the size below it? I think it's 50. Is it 52 or something like that? Just to try it out, because I started with 64 because I have big feet, so I thought that what I should knit on, but I mean, it might not just be the case anymore. Just over time your gauge changes, so it could be that. I don't know. And I'm trying to remember what pair how many pairs of socks I've knit this year, and I can't remember, so I'll put the down bar below. I know I'm ahead for the box of socks. But yeah, I really like this colorway. I have 2 more of her Game of Thrones collection, and she's released some new ones for this season, because Game of Thrones is coming out this week, so that's why I cast these on, and I'm very tempted to buy some more, but I don't know. I'm trying to be good and not just buy all this sock weight, or buy all this yarn, and because lately I've been knitting a lot with my own yarn, a lot of other, my stash yarn just been sitting there for a while. I don't know. I'll take a look at her shop later. And I'm drinking iced coffee. So on to my whips. So I started clue 4 on my starting point shawl, but honestly I did not knit enough, as much as I wanted to, since the last time I recorded. So where my progress is where I left off before. So I just started the lace on clue 4. So here it is, if you didn't watch the last episode. So I only started clue 4 to the first part. I didn't even touch the other section, so I need to get back on it, because I don't want this project to be sitting around forever. lately I've been getting very distracted with other projects. So I just haven't felt the urge to knit on this. But I do want to finish it, and I think it'd be a nice sample to have and a nice shawl to use. I got it all tangled. And I'm keeping it in my Stitch in You bag. It's which is my Harry Potter bag. I can't. It's too. This pattern now is too big. I can't even keep everything in here. I can only have so the two shawl sections and then just like one ball of yarn. I have to put the other cakes into another bag because I don't have a big enough bag to fit this. So yeah, that's the starting point shawl. Let's see what else. So my second whip for this episode is a new cast on, which I'm keeping in my Wonder Woman bag, and I'm wearing Wonder Woman shirts. Is the Sweet Pea Dress by Mina Phillip. It's another Mina Phillip pattern. I just started this yesterday. So here's the top. And I'm knitting this for my friend who's having a baby in August. So I'm using leftover yarn. This is what I used in my antler shawl by Helen Stewart. So this is on my Inez base, which is 100% superwash merino, and it's in the core colorway. So yeah, I cast this on yesterday, and I got quite a bit done yesterday and today, this morning. I'm almost done with the top, and I have maybe like 8 rows to go, and then I'm going to change colors. So I'm knitting the size 6 to 12 months. This pattern has a very wide range of sizes. So like I think from like 0 to 3 up to 4 and 5. So then I'm gonna change it, and I'm gonna add my Barbie girl colorway in my Isabel base, which is 75-25. I think they would be cute. And I'm gonna knit this again. I want to knit the 4 to 5 size for her older sister. She's like 3.5, so. And from what Mina says from her podcast in the pattern, is that the skirt on this dress is very long. So you know, kids grow fast. So once it gets shorter, they could probably use it as a shirt or something. So so hopefully, you know, once the baby girl grows out of that, she can wear her sister's dress at some point. And I haven't figured out what colors I'm going to use for her sister's dress. I'm focusing on this one first. Yeah, I want to work on this. I neglecting my work because I was taking some time to myself this morning to knit on it. And it's knitting pretty fast. I don't know why, but I thought size 6 to 12 would be bigger. Yeah, it's been a while since I've knit a baby garment. I knit my friend's first baby, like, you know, sweaters, cardigans, and all that stuff, like years ago when her daughter was much smaller. So it's been a while. And on the back it's gonna have 3 buttons. I need to find some buttons. I think I still have some leftover buttons from the cardigan I made her sister, so I might add that. I think it'll look nice. So yeah, and I'm using new needles, which is my acquisitions this week. I got a whole bunch of Chagu needles from Amazon because I'm planning some projects. And I was just looking in my case where I keep needles, and I was just missing. I don't have a 4 or a 5 for some reason, and I can't find my 7s. I do have a like interchangeable set from Knitpicks, which I got years ago, but I really don't like that set anymore because um, this is a problem with that set is the join untwists while you're knitting, and then when you're knitting, the yarn falls into that little groove, and it's just really annoying. And then you try to tighten it, and then it just loosens up again. So that's why I don't use that. And so I'm debating maybe I might request interchangeable Chagu set for my birthday or Christmas, because right now Chagus are my favorite needles. So onto some yarn experiments. So I'm sure you guys saw this new pattern that came out this past week, the Wonder Woman wrap by Carissa Browning. So it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I first saw the pattern in my Instagram Explorer feed. So my Explorer feed knows me well, because when I saw this pattern, I flipped out. So I printed it out already. So I showed this to my best friend, who's also a Wonder Woman fan, and she flipped out too. So I'm gonna knit one for her and one for myself. So I decided that I wanted to dye the yarn, and lately I've been inspired by a lot of patterns. Like there's quite a few patterns I want to knit in the next few months, and so I was just looking at my inventory for the store and just seeing where I can fill the gaps. So I didn't realize that I don't have a good yellow or like a good tonal red in the store. So I did some experimenting, and it's blowing out. I came up with these two colorways. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit blown out, but so I dyed these up on my 100% Superwash Merino. So you would think that dyeing tonal would be like super easy, and that you would just like throw dye in the pot and that's it, but it's not. I had to re-dye these like 2 times, because when you're dyeing yarn, the color is when it dries, the color gets a little bit brighter. So I first dyed the red, and I thought it was fine, and then once it dried, it just wasn't the right shade, so I had to redo it. I just over dyed it until I got the shade I wanted, and then the yellow, I had the same problem. So it took me 2 tries, but I finally got it. So yeah, it's a Wonder Woman theme podcast. So I'm gonna dye these. I have to dye another set for my friend, and I think I'm gonna add these. Put these in the store as a pre-order if anybody wants a set, and then you can choose your base as well. So I'm like super excited to cast this on, but first I have to finish the baby dress because it uses the same needles, and I don't have another set of US 4s, so I can't cast them on yet. And some other experimenting that I've been doing. So I'm trying out a new base. I don't have a singles base in the shop, so I wanted to get one, and I was experimenting. So this is already in another colorway I have. Everything's blown out this episode. There you go. So this is on my Blossoms base. So this is it's 100% superwash merino singles, 400 yards. Um, so yeah, this is on blossoms, and so then I dyed up this, which is black with um, green and purple speckles. And then this one is my on the prairie um, colorway, but it didn't come out like it was supposed to. I used the same dye, I used the same amount of dye, all that, and so just to compare, so this is the bottom one is on the prairie in superwash merino 3-ply, and then this is on singles. So it came out very different. So much so that I don't know if I can even name it the same colorway, you know. Um, but I do like how this came out, and it actually reminds me of another colorway I have um, from another dyer, which was not my intention to copy that, but that's what happens. Sometimes you get surprises, you know. So I'm gonna try and dye this again on this base, um, just to see if it's gonna come out again. You know, I never know. It could have just been like a freak accident. That's why it came out this way, or we'll see. So, so my my plan. So the reason why I dyed these was that I want to knit up a sample, another sample, and I'm gonna do the eyeball shawl by Stephen West because I've never knit a Stephen West pattern before, and I don't know. I'm just really that design seemed really interesting to me, and so yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna cast it on, not right away, but soon in in the foreseeable future. So I have a lot of projects I've been planning um, recently, and it's just fun sometimes, you know, just to play around and see what I can come up with. I know recently I said like 2 episodes ago that I just didn't want to be knitting on my yarn and show you guys that on the podcast, but then I got so many comments saying, you know, don't worry about it, just knit with your yarn or whatever you want to knit with. Because honestly, it's fun to, you know, figure out what colorways you want in your head and, you know, actually execute them. And honestly, it's cheaper for me to dye it on my own than it is to buy it from somebody else. So yeah. So on to my shop update news. I didn't have an update last week because I was very busy with my wholesale orders, and I still am. But I was able to dye up yarn for the shop these last 2 weeks. So I probably am gonna do like every 2 weeks until I finish these wholesale orders because honestly, it's a lot of work. um, so yeah. So shop update is on Friday, which I don't post this episode until like Saturday, so this stuff should be in the shop right now if you're watching. So I'm gonna have Rainbow Dash on the Stellina, Silver Stellina, for the first time. I've never dyed this on this base. Look at the sparkles. So yeah. Dark Magic I'm gonna have in the shop on Stellina, on Isabel, Barbie Girl on Stellina, and on Isabel. Canyon, which I got a little bit crazy with the speckles on this, so it's a little bit more orange than usual, and Phoenix. So yeah, I think that's it for this update. So yeah, I have the pre-orders for the kit and then all this yarn in the store. Um, I want to try to set aside some time just to do some more experimenting. Try to just add some more colorways, see what happens, and see if I can just play around and see what else I can come up with. I feel like lately I haven't had the time to just say, okay, this whole day I'm just going to experiment, um, just because I've had these wholesale orders to take care of. So yeah, until life stuff, not much has been going on. Just working. um, it's finally like been really hot in New York lately. Um, yeah, that's it. um, yeah, I never talked about Wonder Woman. I saw that in Ohio with my friend, and was very worried that that movie was going to be bad, just because it's DC movies, and lately they haven't been putting out very good movies. But I was very happy that we finally have a female superhero movie that's good. took us long enough, so yeah, I'm happy about that. I started doing dog walking on the side, just my brother's dog. So I take him out like once a day in the middle of the day, and it's a nice break in between doing other work. Just to actually go outside. Sometimes I don't go outside, and and I don't know. I've never owned a dog, but I noticed that once, now that I'm walking around the neighborhood, like people are more likely to talk to you when you're walking a dog than if you're just by yourself. Because he's very friendly, so he goes up to everybody. And yeah, I think that's it. uh, so I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully, I can record again. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.